Greetings, brothers and sisters. Greetings. First and foremost, we must acknowledge our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, Yahushai, for allowing this word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters are truly edified by this word. And we're going to name this word Inadequate Parental Leadership in 2024. All right. Again, the name of tonight's word is called Inadequate Parental Leadership in 2024. If you guys are new to the channel, man, go back to the lesson I just did this past Sunday, where I spoke about parenting sons today. This is like a continuation of that word. And in tonight's word, man, I kind of just want to go into detail of reasons why our children are failing today, why our children are struggling, why our children are finding themselves in precarious situations, whether it's death, whether it's strung out on drugs, whether they gang banging, whether they running the streets, whether they're in prison. Okay. It's very critical, man. In tonight's word, I basically want to focus on parental training. Okay. A lot of us have children and a lot of us don't have the proper training. You know, a lot of us make it up as they go. And when you look at a lot of the detriment to these children today, you have like some parents shouldn't have got together and had children. Okay. It's very possible that you can have children with the wrong partner, or you could have children with the lack of understanding what you're embarking on. Okay. When you have a child, that's a responsibility. There's a particular parental skill set that comes with nurturing children and raising children. See, everybody focus on the fun part, making the child. Okay. But see, raising the child is where it's going to matter the most. You see, and a lot of people, when it comes to raising a child, they don't have the experience. They don't have the skill set, nor do they care to have the skill set. And what usually happens? The parent, whether it's the mother or the father, drops the ball, and now someone else has to come in and try to pick up the slack. And what you have in that situation, which is a lot of situation, this kid is not set up to succeed properly. This kid have been robbed of the way he really needs to be brought into this world, conduct himself, and so forth. So hopefully in this word tonight, a lot of you out there will get a better understanding to why a lot of our children are not going in the path of success, going in the path of doing things the right way, going in the paths of a way that would make you happy, proud, that would make the Lord happy and proud. You see? So again, without further ado, we're going to talk about inadequate parental leadership, inadequate parental guidance in 2024. What you see on the screen is a child and his granddad. Okay. This is going to be very important because what you see is that little boy, right? What you're going to learn in this word, that if you train him up properly, when he lives to be the age of his granddad, what you see on the screen, he's going to be the same. He's going to be the exact same. So in other words, you see the little boy, right? If his dad raises him right, when he gets to the age of his granddad, he's still going to be the same. Now I'm going to prove it to you. Because what's happening is, when you see this little boy, you're going to see what happens if you don't train them up correctly. And if you don't train him up correctly, by the time he get to the age of his granddad, oh man, you're gonna see, man, the detriment of it. So without further ado, man, when it comes to inadequate, right? What's a better understanding of inadequate? Inadequate is lacking the quality required. When it comes to parental leadership, parental guidance, that speaks about establishing rules, giving advice, offering direction, counseling, and protection for your child. Okay? So when we say inadequate parental leadership, inadequate parental guidance, we're talking about lacking the quality required to establish rules for your children, to establish how to give advice, to offer direction, to offer counseling, protection of your child. So imagine that. If you lack that, that child does not have a chance. So if you see him in prison at 14, 15 years old, you see him commit murder, you see him catch a vehicular homicide, you see him out here robbing and stealing, selling drugs and doing all these things, 99% of the time is going to be due to inadequate parental leadership, inadequate parental guidance. In Proverbs 22:6, it reads, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." That's cold-blooded, man. Because when you really analyze Proverbs 22:6, the first thing it tells you is what? Train up. Train up a child. In other words, you discipline him or her, okay? You give directions. You see, you give instructions regarding his manners, regarding his habits. You see? It says, train up a child in the way he should go. In other words, his steps, his path, his course of life. Again, his manners, his habits, his moral character. You see? If you put that in order as a child, when he become an aged man, he will not turn aside from that. It's that simple, y'all. It's that simple. Your child starts at an infant to a toddler to a teenager. And if you demonstrate inadequate parental leadership, by the time that child becomes an adult, the residue, the effect of your inadequacy is going to show up. And that individual, now that he's grown, he's accustomed to the wrong way of doing things, and he's going to stay that way till he's old, man. That's cold-blooded, man. So when it comes to your child, you dig? His morals, his manner, his religion, his mind should be right, you see. When it talks about training up a child in the way he should go, that also deals with if you a spiritual person. A good way to train up your child in the way he should go is to teach him about prayer, teach him about obeying and fearing the Lord, teaching him about how to recognize and flee the devil and the devil workers, you see. You teach him how to commune and have a personal relationship with the Lord. And I can assure you, as he become an old man, he will not deviate from those practices. You see? He's not going to deviate from those practices. When you train up a child, you also teaching them how to recognize and escape dangers. It's cold-blooded, man. Yeah. What's the name of the lesson, man? Inadequate parental leadership, parental guidance in 2024. And you're seeing the end result of it, man. We're not training up these childs, okay, in a way that they should go. These kids are being misled. These kids are not given the proper rules, the proper advice, the proper guidance, the proper direction, the proper counseling, the proper protection. Okay? They lack that. So what you think is going to happen when they become an adult? those inadequate ways that was taught to them is going to be permanently indoctrinated in them as they come an adult. And when they get old, they're just going to be old with the same inadequate guidance, inadequate leadership from their parents, man. It's a cold-blooded game. It's a cold-blooded name, man. In Proverbs 1:4, it tells you that you give your child knowledge and discretion. You see, look it on the screen. This child is being trained up in the proper way that he should go. And by the time he get his granddad's age, which is a aged man, he's still going to be polished, man. That's right. So if you want your child to grow up and be old and be a man of prudence, a man of wisdom, a man of knowledge and discretion, a man of righteousness, a man that obeys the Lord, a man that fears and obeys the Lord, a man that prays, a man that communes with the Lord. The only way he'll be able to do that as an old man is if you start him off with that as a young man, as a child. And I can promise you, he will not deviate from that. So when you look at your children today and you look at how our kids are all over the place, that's because they are victims of inadequate parental leadership. They are victims of inadequate parental guidance, man. And that's all I got for you, man. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters were truly, truly edified by this word. And we give all praises, glory, and honor to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out. And again, this is about parental training. Okay? If you're a grandparent, you might need parental training. Because as a grandparent, you might be offering inadequate parental leadership to your grandchildren or your great-great-grandchildren. I'm just telling you, man, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. And we got to understand a child can't figure it out on his own. He has to have the proper advice, the proper direction, the proper counseling, the proper protection, the proper knowledge, the proper discretion. You don't give him that, you have failed that child, man. And that's all I got for you, man. Shalom.